Hi, this is going to be a quick video highlighting Masterbuilt's grill and finish element. That's something that can be installed on the new MES 340 and 440 versions of the smokers. I'll walk through what comes in the box, how to put it in. I'll even throw in some of the temperature readings I was getting from using just the element itself. This is all you will need to install it. Most of it being done with just a screwdriver. Everything goes very straightforward. Took me about 20 minutes. Everything came packaged inside nice and neat. Nothing was damaged during shipping, so that's good. Also in the box, you're going to find the set of assembly instructions. You're also going to find an accessory booklet along with any pieces you need. There's the element itself, along with the grill and finish heat shield vents. Also, what came with it that I didn't expect was one of the disposable pans that you can put underneath what you're using on the top rack, so that'll be fun. First thing we have to do is put the heat shield vents onto the actual heat shield itself using the supplied screws. Pretty straightforward here. I'll show you when it's done. And there they are installed. Like I said, 4 screws per vent. Fitment was really good and everything went in really smooth. The next piece that goes on is the grill and finish element bracket. Goes on with 2 screws, nice and easy. And now that that's installed, we can bring it all outside and go and do the fun stuff. Next, we're going to install the heat shield assembly. The manual does say you're going to have to remove the racks there that you can see towards the bottom, but I can leave them in. I didn't have any issue. We hold the heat shield up and you're going to put 2 screws on each side of the smoker where I have them, little fingers pointing to them. It's not too finicky, so 4 total. It takes a couple minutes to do. Not too bad though. Now we're installing the heat shield. I placed it inside the smoker and let it set on top of those brackets on the side. It actually worked pretty good to rest it there. Then I just put one of the threaded screws on the end of a screwdriver and screwed it in. Just had to do this 4 times. Nothing too difficult, and it fit real nicely. Next we'll be focusing our attention on the back of the smoker. Here you're going to find an access panel, large rectangular one on the top. Using a Phillips head screwdriver, you're going to take out 6 Phillips screws, and don't lose them. You're going to need those to put this exact plate back on after the wiring for the finish and grill element is complete. Also, keep mind of the orientation of it, because you don't want to install this thing upside down or backwards when you put it back in. Once everything's all put in there, it will be pretty clear which direction it goes, but it is just worth taking a little mental note right away. Just finishing up with the last screw. Alright, once it's all out, you're just going to take this cover off. Then you're going to see that's got this big kind of gasket on there. And I chose to peel it from the top and pull down. It's kind of glued on there. And then once it's most of the way off, I just left it hanging. Everything I needed to get to was clearly there. Here's what it looks like in the back after you take everything off. You're going to take out those 4 nuts that are on each corner. I used a small socket to do it just to make things easier, and there's also a Phillips head screw from the inside, and I'll show you kind of what that looks like here. Here's that plate from the inside of the smoker. It'll have 4 Phillips screws that go to those nuts on the back side. Sorry I don't have any pictures of it, but it is directly underneath the heat shield in the center of the back of the unit. And here it is removed. Now it'll be completely open to the back side of the smoker, and this is where the fittings for the element get pushed through. Next you're going to install the element through those holes. It's a tight squeeze, but it will fit. Here's a look at the element pushed through the back of the smoker. Make sure you put the silicone gasket on the element before you push it through. Otherwise you'd have to take it apart again. Not that I did it or anything, but just so you don't have to. I'm putting that yellow and black wire on the upper right hand side. It's a relocation. When you originally took it off, it was on the bottom left, so note that. In the manual it tells you to reuse the hardware, but they do provide new hardware in the baggie for it also. So just connect all four of those the nuts back up and secure the element. Using a razor or a sharp knife, you're going to have to remove the heat shield here from 4 different connectors. This part is not in the manual, so be careful when cutting through, because you don't want to cut through the insulated jacket on the outside of these. You can see they attach on the post on the bottom, and these two go to the posts up top there, and all those are going to be covered in heat shield. Here you can see I've got the element gasket covered inside already. You don't want to connect your connectors up before the gasket gets put in, or you're going to have to take those all out. And here you can see I'm using Phillips screwdriver to screw these heads on there, and you can see the little piece of zip tie I just took off. That was holding the 2 of them together, and you need to cut that so you can separate them enough to go on. Get nice and snug. You can do that with both of them. The gasket fits back over everything nicely. Here, we're going to get the other one going. Finally. Nice and snug. That should do. Now you want to expose the spade connectors on the bottom. Now you're going to connect up your temperature probe wires. They just clip in there one way. I like to pull the boot back a little bit there. The spade connectors clip right on. They feel like a good quality spade connector. The females slide in and then they actually lock on there to the male, so if you do put them in the wrong orientation or you need to pull one off, there's a little tab that you have to push on there to help pop it off. It won't just pull. Replace the insulated jackets over, tuck all your wires in there nice and neatly. That looks good. With everything connected back up now, we just have to reassemble the back, so we're gonna put that gasket back up there. We're going to grab this panel piece here, and again we're going to want that hump at the top where all the chunky stuff for the elements kind of protruding out a little bit. And we're just going to use the same 6 screws that came out to put this all back together. I like just get a few of them started with my fingers just to hold it in place. That way it doesn't fall on you. And while I'm finishing this up, I do want to give a thank you for the people over at the My Masterbuilt Electric Smoker Facebook group. It's a really good community, almost 60,000 members there, and they've got a lot of good tricks and tips and recipes for these smokers, so check them out. And that's the finished product. Like I said, there's a couple pieces extra. Masterbuilt gives you some extra parts in the bag, but it also tells you have to reuse some pieces, so it is normal to have a few extra pieces, plus the ones you're not using anymore because of the elements covering them up. Here's a couple quick shots of the element installed. I thought it went fairly simple. I made the video because I've heard some complaints about it being difficult to assemble or needing one person, so thanks for sticking with me through the video. Here's a picture inside the smoker at the bottom of the element on the back wall, and you can see the pointy nipple on the top. And that is the actual temperature probe for the heating element, and you want to keep that clean or you're not going to get accurate temperatures. The one underneath there that kind of looks like a flat disc is the temperature cutoff sensor. So if it somehow catastrophically has a failure with the control unit, that will sense it overheating and shut it off so you don't have a fire or serious problems with the smoker. And now that everything is hooked up, all we have left to do is test it out. So I'm going to power the smoker up. We are going to select the top element, and we are going to select the high setting. There is a low, medium, high. We're going to go with the high setting. And we're going to see what this does. I'll take some readings and let you know what I find. So here's some kind of nerdy statistics for you. I set the finish element on low to start with now, and took readings inside of my smoker. And what I found is on low, at the top rack, it reached about 250 degrees. On the second rack down, 180 degrees. 135 degrees on the third rack, and on the bottom rack I was reading 120. I bumped up to medium. You can see where the temperature goes up there. The top rack got up to 300. The second rack was 210. Third rack was 160 degrees. And the bottom rack was 140. Then I bumped them up to high and took another reading. And at high it was 340 degrees is what it maxed out at. The second rack was 245. The third rack was 185. And the bottom rack was 160. All right, with everything kind of wrapping up here, I wanted to show you through the vents on the top. You can see the heat shield and the heat shield tubes there. The heat shield does do a really good job directing the heat out of it. Even when the top burner running on its hottest position, the top of the smoker still runs cool to the touch. If you've got kids or pets, the top and the sides stay nice and cool, so you don't have to worry about anybody getting hurt. The glass will get hot, so stay away from the glass if you can, but it does a great job. Here's a quick look at the big Masterbuilt pellet smoker. If you guys don't have that, check it out. I've also done some videos on that. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you're looking forward to more updates on these, because I will be doing more updates and reviews on other accessories. Thank you guys for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it and maybe even learned something. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments section below. I'll be happy to answer them. And honestly, I really love this smoker and look forward to continue using it. So have a good day, and I'll send another video soon.